I'm Tanner with Madison Public Philosophy. We're here doing 5-minute philosophy with random people from the street. I'm here with Nick and Derek, and I'm going to talk to them about teleportation. So one of the famous thought experiments in philosophy is the teleportation thought experiment. Basically just asks you to imagine that we're in the future and we've invented teleportation machines that kind of work like they break you down into your atoms and then send you to wherever you want to go, another planet.
I like it. Yeah.
So just on gut instinct, would you use the teleportation thought machine?
I personally think that is a destruction of your consciousness. Like I don't think that is. I mean, that's like the classic Star Trek example where you're completely being deconstructed. I feel like there's more, and there's no right answer in this case. So I feel like there's a little more beyond that than what we know, as far as we can't just put a bunch of things together and make life. Like that's perhaps the assumption, but I think there's whatever it is, some sort of consciousness, some sort of aspect.
Okay.
And when we first started here, you just mentioned like metaphysical. And I think that's an important concept to introduce into the whole theory here, is that there's maybe sort of like another aspect of consciousness that is metaphysical.
Okay.
That I personally wouldn't use this teleportation device for that reason. Yeah.
All right. What about you? Would you use it?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't know if when you came out of the teleportation device, if you would come out exactly the same person. I think even if you could almost be correct with the exact placement of atoms, and I don't think you'd still be the same exact person that you were going into the machine.
Okay. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the things about that the teleportation thought experiment tries to do. It tries to get you to think about what it is about you that makes you you. So I guess going off that, do you think there is any one thing that makes what you are you? Like, we're kind of talking about consciousness. Like,
okay. Well, that when you bring it up in that sense, I actually have to contradict myself.
Okay.
I feel like what makes me me is my neurology, is the weight of my brain and in certain ways, and how essentially my brain makes me me. Okay. And like, yes, you could clone me exactly the way it is, but it's the person I am and the person I know I am is, when you deconstruct me, can be completely cloned, but I don't think that is still going to be me. I think there's an individual aspect to it where you can clone me exactly, and I would believe it's me, but I think I would die in that process.
Okay.
Purely by deconstructing myself and then having to rebuild myself. What do you think, Derek?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I kind of think there's a part of me that if you just deconstructed my entire body and tried to rebuild me like piece by piece, I don't know if it would be exactly the same person. Like there's still like a certain quality to me, like a certain consciousness that I don't know if I'd be able to reconstruct perfectly.
Would you, I guess, attribute... it seemed like you were attributing consciousness to your neurological states or configurations.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that consciousness is like connected to how our neurology is, or how our cognition is?
Yeah, go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's like chemical like makeup of our body, but like I don't know if there's also something to that, like the experiences that I've had, like is that going to be different like coming out of the machine? I don't know.
I've got some thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think consciousness, like, and what's going on with my brain, like you can recreate me, but I might be of different consciousness. Does that make sense? So like when I think about it, it's sort of that this is me in my consciousness. If you were to recreate me, it would be almost like giving myself another consciousness. But it's like, it's the same personality and stuff. But I think there's just like an instilled fear of death in being torn apart.
Yeah, okay.
And that I wouldn't be on the other side.
So you think that identity is something more than just the physical?
More than just personality, too.
Yeah.
It's like even if there's an exact replica of me, it's still not me.
Okay.
I think that's kind of what I'm trying to communicate. It's tough to articulate, though, yeah.
So, in the case of the teleportation, last question. In the case of the teleportation thought experiment, if it were to be the exact same atoms that were moved, So not necessarily a clone, but the exact same atoms that were teleported into the exact same configuration and had the same memories, same personality, would you say that's you? Or there's still something
It's me.
discomforting?
Everyone else would see it as me and perceive it as me,
Yeah.
but I feel like in the process of being torn down, I lose my own identity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be me, but it wouldn't really be like my consciousness. Like, we'd be two different people, but it would be the exact same person.
Okay.
I was like a clone, essentially, but more exact than that.
All right. Thanks. Yeah, that was great.
Cool.